Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bleav in Bengal podcast presented by FanDuel. I'm your host, Solomon Wilcots, and joined by my very special guest, Cincinnati Bengal, former Bengal running back, Ickey Woods. That's right. He of the Ickey Shuffle. Ick, how you doing today, my man?
What's going on, Sol, man? Just can't wait for this season to get going, man. I'm very excited. Hopefully these guys can come on and get it done. Need to get that Trey in camp, though, man. We need to get him signed, baby.
Yeah. Hey, look, I got to start by asking you, for us old ball players, right? We never lose the itch. Every year at this time in August, as we go into September and towards Labor Day, we all get the itch, man. We all feel like we could do it. We all wish we could do it. But we almost envy the players because they're going out and get to do the thing that we always were able to do. What is it that you miss most about the game, and particularly at this time of year?
I think it's more the camaraderie side, Sol. You know, the guys getting ready to go to war with each other, man, and been preparing for this and ready to, hit a different color jersey, and it's for real now, All
Right.
that preseason's over with. Now it starts to count.
What are you most excited about when you think about this year's Bengals team, 2025? What is it about this team that excites you the most?
I think that offense, man. Our offense really excites me. I'm hoping that Solly, we don't need a top 10 defense, Solly. We just need a middle of the road defense, man, that can just stop somebody. You know what I'm saying? If we can just hold people to 21 points, Solly, we'll win a lot of games this year because we got a very explosive offense. And I think we'll probably average over 25 a game. So if the defense can get out there and, stop some people, then I think we got a great opportunity. We had 7 games last year where we scored over 30 points and lost all 7, and 2 of those we scored over 40. So, you got to be able to win games when your offense scores 30 or more.
Yeah, look, the offense is going to be a juggernaut. You also saw Joe Burrow trying to work himself to be in mid-season form when they play week 1 against Cleveland. I really admired him for wanting to stay in a preseason game when no one thought it was important for him to do so. You could tell he was eager to stay in there. He wanted to put a polish to his game,
no doubt,
trying to work on the small things. I mean, when you and I played, you played in the preseason games, man. You were good and lathered up by the time we got to week 1. So kind of talk to me what you see from Joe Burrow. What do you like most about him?
Yeah, I like most that he's a professional. He always goes into it, Solly, very prepared, very ready. And so, and that's what I like most about him, man, is he's a professional and he wants to get everybody else on that same level as going into this as professionals and getting ready. I think
man. Clock starts going. Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a professional, Solly, and that's what I like most about him is he goes in there every day and he goes to work. He want everything to be perfect, so he works to get it perfect. It's not always going to be perfect, but he does work to try to get it there. And I think the guys around him are starting to pick up on that as well. So I'm looking forward to a great year, Solly, to be honest with you. I think we're gonna make a run deep in the playoffs. And it all starts, Solly, with the first 2 weeks of the season. Those are must-win games for us, So we got to go down to Cleveland, and if we can get started off down there in Cleveland and this first month of the season, if we can be either 4-0 or 3-1, man, it makes for a great start. We can't start off slow this year.
Yeah, first 4 games, week 1 at Cleveland, week 2 at home against Jacksonville, week 3 on the road at Minnesota. That's going to be a tough one. They have a really good defense. And then week 4, at Denver Broncos. They have a really good defense as well.
We got 4 tough ones right out the chute. But I can tell you what, 3 of those is AFC opponents. So if we can get those, man, we're off to a great start. I can tell you that.
That's right. You have to be able to win within the conference, within the division. There's no doubt. You know, you were talking about the defense a little while ago. We don't have to be great. You're right. We don't have to be the 85 Bears. But Ickey Woods, you gotta be able to tackle, man. We have to tackle better. What is it about today's game, particularly the way that they practice? Because I mean, we didn't tackle one another to the ground, but man, we got our work done to where those fundamentals were never an issue in the early phase of, say, in training camp or in preseason games. Those are things that when I look at them, I think they're a direct line to being able to determine how good the team is going to be once we get into the regular season.
Yeah, and that's so true, Solly. And, you know, from what we've seen so far, even in the preseason, they're just not tackling well, man. We're gonna have to pick that up, man, and we're gonna have to be able to tackle people. And that's the name of the game on defense, is you got to get people on the ground, man. If we can get them on the ground and get us some stops, I think we had like 4 games last year where teams punted the ball maybe one time against us, man. So that Monday night against Washington was real disappointing, man. They went for it. They went for it on 4th down 4 times, Solly. They did not punt the ball not one time. So, but I think this year's defense will be better than that. So we're just gonna, you know, I don't want to have to score 30 and 40 points a game just to win a game. You know, we got to be able to win some close ones, and we got to be able to win some tough ones. So we'll see what happens, but I think the defense will be ready, man. We got the new defensive coordinator. They really wasn't showing nothing in the preseason, but, you know, when we go to Cleveland, he's going to have to pull it all out, and let's make it happen.
Al Golden, the Bengals' new defensive coordinator, brings a lot to the table, and you're right. During the preseason, it was clear they didn't want to show their hand. We didn't see them blitzing. We didn't see any stunts or twisting, nothing complicated. Just line up and play. Teams did take advantage of it, but according to Zach Taylor, they weren't alarmed. He said if he was going to judge players by how they play in the preseason, he said that Shemar Chase would have never played as a rookie. Right. I think Shemar had a few drops in the preseason,
and he did.
Yeah, and people were really alarmed. I remember that, and I just felt comfortable with him. I thought he was a player that we didn't need to worry about. Even last year, didn't play at all in the preseason. Right, he got off to a slow start, 1 or 2 games, but then he goes on to win the Triple Crown. So I guess I guess Zach is right when he says he doesn't want to overreact to what he sees in preseason games. How do you feel about that?
I feel comfortable about that too, because, you know, when you, like you said, when Shemar first came in, you know, in all the preseason game, he was dropping balls, and people was like, man, this guy keep dropping balls. I say, well, let me tell you something. About them SEC players. When the light come on for real, they shine. And sure enough, soon as that the real lights came on, he got out there snagging everything, making plays, man. I say, now that's what I'm talking about. And that's what it's going to take this year, man. It's going to take, you know, everybody working together as a team, you know, picking each other up, especially when times are not going right. Got to be able to fight through adversity. You know that as well as I do, Solly, because we had to do it. You know, you gotta fight through that adversity, because if you don't, get the best of you.
Yeah, hey, talk to me about, you know, you were a running back. You went over 1,000 yards in your rookie season, 18 rushing touchdowns. You had a phenomenal rookie campaign. The Bengals last year had the second fewest rushing attempts of any team in the NFL. Zach Taylor says that's one of the areas that they feel like they can improve and will improve. Running back Chase Brown has been really good. Samaje Perine now has come back to this team. We know what a really great running back he is, with an all-around talent for running, blocking, and catching the ball coming out of the backfield. And this is an offensive line. I like the rookie Dylan Fairchild at the guard position next to Ted Karras. And we have 2 big tackles in Amarius Mims and Orlando Brown Jr. How important is it that we have more balance and that we are able to run the game with power and create big plays in the run game this year.
And that's going to be big, Solly. But last year, a lot of those games, man, we were fighting from behind, trying to catch up to people, and that's why we didn't have really a good chance to run the ball. So hopefully we get off to a great start this year, man. We have a balanced attack, run and pass, and open it up because I like Chase. I like the way Chase Brown runs the ball, and then we got P. Ryan back. Boy, I sure thought we was gonna keep him. We let him get away. Now he's back. Ooh. He's a little older, a little more mature. I think he's gonna be great for us, man. And then the young rookie we got, I think he's gonna add to it, man. So we got 3 good running backs that can get out there and get it done. And I'm looking forward to hopefully our run game takes off.
Yeah, Taj Brooks, he might be sort of not a very tall running back, but he provides power and it's very Suttonist. He's really good at breaking tackles. He was a very productive collegiate player. I think he's going to make an impact on the Cincinnati Bengals offense as well. Look, man, I just can't go another season and miss the playoffs.
Oh, man, Solly, that'll be rough if we do that, man, especially. But you know what, Solly, we got to get off to a great start, man. Every year, the last 6 years, bro, we 1-11 in the first 2 games of the season, man. We need to change that around to 3-11 after this year.
Oh, man, got to turn it around big time, right? Man. Big time.
But that's the start, though, Solly. It starts at the beginning, man. We gotta get it turned around. We lost that first game to New England last year, man, which surprised everybody, I think. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta win the games we supposed to win, man. And if we can do that, then we'll be okay.
So I'm gonna have you go down to Paycor Stadium because you seem to have a way with the Brown family. I remember when we were in the locker room once. And Paul Brown, the great Paul Brown, he comes over into the locker room. He comes over to where you, myself, Eric Thomas, a few of the players, we were sort of congregating, hours before the game. And he came over and did the Ickey shuffle. I was like, oh, my goodness. Paul Brown did the Ickey shuffle. He said, Ickey, is this how you do it? And he can do it. Oh, my goodness. That was a moment that is like sort of etched in my brain.
Oh, yeah.
That he did that. How did that make you feel when it's kind of like he gave you his approval and he didn't approve of end zone dancing.
Right, he really didn't, man. But he came up and he said that, he didn't care too much for the little dance that I did. He said, but my wife loves it and you can do it anytime you get ready. I said, okay, green light, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and then he ends up doing it for it. He had all the steps down. That was a magical moment.
It really was, yes.
Yeah, that was great, and he was great. Yeah. So we're going to have to, since you have this way with the family now, then I think we as a coalition of fans and former players, we're going to send you down to get them to sign Trey Hendrickson. We've got to get him signed.
Oh man, it's a must. It's a must. We sign him, bro. It's a must. So hopefully we get him done this week. I'm sure keeping my fingers crossed for that one.
Yeah, I just believe if we get him signed. And I hate the fact that he would miss all of training camp and wasn't able to practice. He's got to take care of his business. Right. And I think people should know that if he was to play under this year's contract, he would be making roughly a third of what the other top players at his position are making. Right. And he's outproduced all of them over the last 2 years. He's had better numbers than Myles Garrett over the last 2 years. He had better numbers than T.J. Watt. Over the last 2 years, better number than Danielle Hunter and Max Crosby over the last 2 years. Yeah, and he's making roughly a third of what they're making this upcoming season. So he certainly do. But I do believe, and I've been down there, I've been to practice. it's amazing his leadership and the way that he's kind of taken Shemar Stewart under his wing and really been very enthusiastic in helping him.
Right.
I got to tell you, this Shemar Stewart's a good player, Nick. I watched his tape in college, but I watched him in practice. He's had days, and you know when offensive linemen want to fight you in practice, that's when you know you are a good defensive lineman. Am I right?
That's when you know he's doing his job, when they ready to fight. Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, man, he was having his way one day when I was down there, boy. They all wanted to fight him. That was the day where he stumbled into Joe Burrow. He didn't try to tackle him or hit him.
Right.
And then he went over to apologize to Joey B. But you know how linemen are. They get to the 60s. You know, you can't touch the quarterback.
Right.
I want to see him do that in game.
Right. Do that in a different color jersey, you know?
That's right.
Yeah,
when they
don't do it to your teammate. Do it to somebody got a different color jersey on. Right.
That's right. You have now set the standard. When somebody hits Joey B a little too hard,
right.
I want to see you.
Solly, all 5 of y'all, all 11 of y'all better be on there. The ones on the bench better come off the bench.
That's right. That's right. You want to fight the rookie, Shemar Stewart. I want to see somebody fighting somebody on the other team when you hit our quarterback. That's what I want to see.
Cam Hayward. You know,
that's right.
So one of them, you know.
Miles Garrett, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. Might not want to fight Miles Garrett.
Right.
So, I sometimes, you know, remember this old saying, don't poke the bear.
Don't poke the bear. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, JB used to love poking the bear. Oh, man. He had an offensive lineman coming back to the huddle. JB, leave them defensive linemen alone with your little self. Because they ain't gonna get at you. They gonna get at us. Leave them alone. JB talk trash to Reggie White. Like, yeah. JB talk trash to anybody, bro.
Anybody.
Yes, sir.
It's like Reggie White's the last guy you want to get angry. Right. You know, he's a nice guy. He's the minister of defense.
Right.
He brought his Bible to the locker room. Don't go pissing him off, JB, please. That dude will wreck shop now.
Right. Yeah. Yes,
I remember that Eagles game early in the '88 season.
Uh-huh.
Stanley Wilson and JB had all the defensive backs and that whole defense wanting to fight.
Right.
And it turned into a physical game.
It's real physical, yes, sir.
Yeah, but when we won that game, that's when we kind of knew we have something special cooking here.
Special, yes, sir. Yeah.
What do you remember about that game?
I remember, get the game going down to the wire and defense stepping up and making a big play on defense to win the game for us. I remember a couple of games, the Arizona game. Y'all stepped up and won a game for us. So the defense, even though they didn't have a bunch of individual stars, always stepped up when it was time to make a stop or make a big play. Defense did it for us.
Oh, I'm glad somebody's finally said that on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, I do remember 3 interceptions by our defense against Jim Kelly in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, we weren't just having lunch, you know what I'm saying? People tend to forget,
Y'all were supposed to do that. That was y'all job. Get us the ball
SWAT
back.
team, baby. That was SWAT team, baby. That's what that was. I just remember Sam, he cursed us all out after the Patriots lost earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Because, somebody had to take the blame, but we big boys, we could take it.
Yeah.
But after that championship, he was like, hey, secondary guys, go ahead, do the posters, do all that. Have as much fun as you want. He was great about it. Well,
No
Ickey,
doubt.
We want to thank you for taking the time. Hey, look, stick around for 1 second because we're going to be joined by another special guest because you're doing great work in the community, helping people to become more aware of acute asthma and the dangers it causes for young people. And we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and learn more about that right here on the Bleav in Bengals podcast presented by FanDuel. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bleav in Bengals podcast presented by FanDuel. I'm your host, Solomon Wilcots, and today we have a couple of very special guests. We have Barry Quart, the CEO of Connect BioPharma, who has teamed up with former Cincinnati Bengals running back Ickey Woods to create education and awareness around the dangers of acute asthma and the need to develop new innovative treatments. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Well, Barry, let's get started with you. Talk to me about just your idea for partnering with Ickey Woods to really help drive awareness for acute asthma. What is it about working with athletes that you can really help to magnify that message?
Well, thank you. So we're developing a drug that works very quickly and we Bleav can truly benefit patients while they're having an acute episode of asthma. And we found as we got deeper into it that there hadn't been any new drugs developed for treatment of acute asthma in decades. And it seemed like this was a forgotten area. And we just happened to be introduced to Ickey by a mutual acquaintance and heard about his story. And it was so powerful that we felt like it would be a great combination to work with him and try to get the message out that this forgotten area is vitally important and that can be fatal.
Yeah, Ickey, unfortunately, you lost your son, Javante Woods, to an acute asthma attack. Talk to us about the foundation that you started in his name and how you've been really at the forefront on this issue for years now.
Yeah, we have, Solly. I lost him 15 years ago, and we've been working hard for 15 years and trying to find a better way to treat acute asthma. And with Connect BioPharma, I think we're gonna do that with them, man. And they're doing some great things, man. We love them, and they've really stepped up to the plate for us, man, to try to get this nationwide and get it out there and make sure that we're doing the right things.
Barry, what more can you tell us about an acute asthma attack? Because a lot of us have heard about people who live with asthma every single day, but we don't hear much about an acute asthma attack. Most people Bleav if you have an inhaler, you should be okay. Help us to learn a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so patients can go on for years without having an acute episode. And then there's patients that have, one every few months. There's no way to know when and if a patient's going to have an acute event. But the normal situation is patient starts having tightness in their chest, usually reported as an elephant sitting on their chest, great difficulty breathing. And then the go-to medication is an inhaler, as you mentioned. It's a drug that opens up the airways, or at least it's supposed to. Not in every case, and sometimes patients can go, find their inhaler, use it, and they don't get the expected benefit. And we Bleav that's because there are inflammatory proteins circulating in the body, getting to the lungs, causing constriction of the airway. Our drug specifically blocks those inflammatory proteins. So we think that we can have a very rapid and truly, profound effect on these patients having an acute episode.
What kind of drug is on the market now for someone, say, if they might suffer from an acute asthma episode? What is the typical case? How do they treat it? And does this often lead to a trip to the hospital or to the emergency room?
Well, over 1 million patients a year go to the emergency room for an acute episode. Wow. Over that, go to over 1.3 million, go to urgent care, another 1.5 million go see their physician. It's a remarkably prevalent situation, which is treated basically the same way it's been for 20, 30 years. Patients use an inhaler. And if they get significant issues, they'll go to the ER and they'll get a steroid like prednisone. That takes several hours, but it will start reducing the inflammation in the airway. And in the meantime, they're just going to keep getting very high doses of bronchodilator, that inhaler, to open up the airway. And Ickey, there's nothing they can get over the counter.
Yeah, and Ickey, I know you sort of grew up having asthma, and you had one sense of understanding that as long as you had the inhaler, you were okay. But then you learned that an acute episode can be really problematic. And I know you, through your foundation, have also been looking to spread the word and spread more education to help people to become more aware.
Yeah, Solomon, that's correct. We're more on the educational part of it, trying to let people know that asthma does kill and it does take lives. And hopefully we can prevent that by educating them on the symptoms and what to look for acute asthma. And, and hopefully they have exactly what they need to fight it. And with the help from Barry and his crew, we're going to get that word out, and we're going to hopefully develop something that they can use to help them in that situation.
What can you tell us about JoJo? That's your son, Javante Woods, to which you've named the Javante Woods Foundation after him. He was a bright young man, always had a smile on his face, was always energetic, and he played football. I think he was going to be better than you, Rick. He was on his way. So
he was definitely on his way, Solly, man, and he was a people person, man. Everybody that I spoke to spoke very highly of him. And when we had his service, I was amazed at how many people were there and how many people came up to me and just told me the little things that he done to help them. I never would have known, man, that he was just such a giver if these people wouldn't have came out and told me, because I seen him every day, so I didn't get to see that side of him where he would go out and help people with their homework. He did a little football camp. And the little coach came up to me and, said, hey, man, you have taught him great, because he wanted to make sure everybody got involved. There was a little girl in his group, and nobody was really trying to give her the ball. And he told her to go out and run a pattern, and he threw her the ball and made her day at the camp. Man, he made camper of the day that day, man. So he was very, 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 very smart kid, man, and everybody loved him to death, man. If you seen him, he touched your heart, man. He was just that golden.
Yeah, and he always had a smile on his face and always had that great charisma that his father is known for, that helped him to create the Ickey Shuffle. So we certainly know of that. And Barry, before we let you go, tell us a little bit more about Connect BioPharma, the work that you're doing to help solve this problem that is acute asthma. And where can people go to find more information?
Yeah, so it'd be great for patients can take a look at our website, connectbiopharma.com. They can learn more about the work we're doing, the drug we're developing, which is called rademikibart. And they can also find clinical sites where we're setting up our trial to evaluate the use of the drug in patients having acute episodes of asthma and COPD. In the meantime, they should definitely go to the Javante Woods Foundation and see if they can donate so we can help get the word out.
Well, we just think it is a wonderful partnership. We wanted to provide some time here on the Bleav in Bengal podcast presented by FanDuel to allow you both to come on and share this wonderful information, because we know it's going to go a long way to help save lives and help educate people so that they can receive better treatment. We want to thank you for joining us, and we'll catch up with everyone next time right here on the Bleav in Bengal podcast presented by FanDuel.